In example 10, we're asked to evaluate this expression when a is equal to negative 2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to negative 4.2. So the first step would be to substitute in the values for all of these variables into the expression. And if we do that, we will get negative 3 times the absolute value of negative 4.2 plus 2 parentheses negative 2 plus 3. So now we need to work out the math. And starting out with this absolute value, the absolute value of a number is simply that number. So for example, if we have the absolute value of 5, the absolute value of 5 evaluates to 5. The absolute value of negative 5 evaluates to 5 as well. So the absolute value of a constant is always the positive version of that constant. So let's go ahead and apply that rule over here. And what we're going to get is negative 3 times 4.2, positive 4.2. Why? Because an absolute value of a negative number is always the positive version of that number. So we'll say plus, and we'll distribute out the 2. Positive 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4. Positive 2 times positive 3 is positive 6. So let's go ahead and do the multiplication here. And we got a negative times a positive, so it's negative 6.12. I'm sorry, that's negative 12.6. And then we'll have negative 4 plus a positive 6. So that's going to be plus 2. And then finally, we'll go ahead and add these two numbers together. And we'll get negative 10.6. And that is our answer. Let's go and continue on to example number 11, where we need to evaluate this expression when b is equal to negative 3 and c is equal to 2. So the first step would be to substitute in the values of the variables into the expression. So we'll get 3, absolute value 3 times negative 3 minus 8 times 2, absolute value minus 3. So we substituted in negative 3 for b and positive 2 for c. So let's go ahead and begin by working on the expression inside of the absolute value. Okay. Applying PEMDAS, we are going to start by multiplying. 3 times the absolute value of plus 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Negative 8 times positive 2 is negative 16. Absolute value minus 3. Let's continue working on the expression in the absolute value. And we will now subtract. So we'll do 3 times the absolute value of negative 25, absolute value minus 3. Now, we went over the fact that the absolute value of a number is the positive version of that number. So, applying that rule here, the negative absolute value of negative 25 is positive 25. So we have 3 times positive 25 minus 3. Let's go ahead and multiply first. So we'll multiply and we'll get 75 minus 3, and that is going to equal to 72. And I'll put my box around that answer and write it up here, 72. And I also forgot to write my negative 10.6 up on example 10.